Well, it's certainly been a while since I've done a room review, and seeing a couple of Beyond Middle-Age comics in Buffalo on a weekday, turns out you have a really early show end time. So before 9 o'clock, my comedy show in Buffalo was done. Very odd. At Helium Comedy Club, which was, I'm going to say that again, Helium Comedy Club. I'm getting to be an old guy too, and I'm getting a little drowsy. So here I am at the Knights Inn Fort Erie. So I figured it might as well make sense to do a little bit of a review of the hotel room. And the only reason I figured why, well, number one, for those of you that are contemplating staying outside of Niagara Falls and closer to Fort Erie, I'm in downtown Fort Erie. I'm right at the foot of the Peace Bridge. I might even go for a tiny walk down and back just to check it out, as I've not been to this area at night before, and I'm doing a little project in Fort Erie. So just going to get a lay of the land. There's not much to this town. It's like 20,000 people around. So it's, certainly not going to have any nightlife. Not that I'm doing that nowadays, or at least this time of the year, let's say. But I got here and I'm like, wow, like the lobby doesn't look like anything. It's a standard motel. And, I was expecting, motel type of experiences, kind of like the Hershey Park motel that I stayed at. But I must say that it just smells pristinely clean. Like, that sounds like a weird review to say, or a thing to say for a review, but it's just facts. It is mightily impressive for what it is. It was $124 Canadian tonight, so just under basically $100 American. Actually, probably way cheaper than that. And the amenities aren't really something that you would expect in 2025. But unlike most motels, you get like a working fridge, which is in pretty good order here. A nice window view, blackout curtains, good times. Not like a heavy blackout curtain, I will say, something that's a little lacking there. But a lot of chair space. So despite being just a queen size bed, you got room for 4 to sit. So that's interesting. And of course, you got lots of hanger space, which is excellent. An iron, mandatory. Your old school heating and air conditioning unit. And almost this like, I forget what this is called, but they always have these types of walls in these rooms. I don't know what they're called, but I don't want to call them rough walls, and I avoided turning on the fan or the light just because of the fan. It's pretty loud, so there is that. And then you have a pretty decent looking shower. Nothing special. Definitely getting close to about 50 years old, let's say. I always look at that shower head. Boy, I love my shower head shots. Really is distinctive of what type of room you're in, but it is what it is. Nice towel units. It's enough room for more, but that'll be enough for what I need. I wouldn't say that the towel is too big. So if you like a big cozy towel, I don't think you're going to be getting that. Hello. And then this really hardcore hair dryer unit. Also something I'm not going to need, but there for those of you that need to know about that. And as you can see, the sink it's got a newer-ish fixture, but it's pristine. It doesn't have those rust marks and wear and tear that you see in many hotels. And of course, some soap. Brought to you by Destination. All the lights are working too. So I just figured it was worth giving a little bit of review here at the Knights Inn Fort Erie in case you were ever considering staying here. Pretty reasonable price, super friendly staff, and really nice and welcoming. Really quick and efficient check-in. Even it says it's a 24-hour desk, so I'm getting here around 9:30 on a Wednesday. No issues whatsoever. Good times. Gonna tuck in for the night. Maybe go for a bit of a stroll, but outside of that, high recommendations so far. Maybe we'll capture you in the morning in case anything changes from that, but hopefully not. Good night from the Knights Inn, Fort Erie. We are outside of our hotel, and just so you know, there's a Wendy's, a Tim Hortons located right next door to this location, which is super convenient if you're Canadian. There's even a Pioneer gas station, which is ultra convenient as well. And in the distance, you have Buffalo. We're all done with our stay here at the Knights Inn. Just wanted to do a slight follow-up that I had a really comfortable sleep, and I just have to say it was a great time. I booked the hotel, so I don't need to thank the proprietors for having me, but I will nonetheless, because surprisingly, really refreshing and a nice little alternative off the beaten path from Niagara Falls. Just at the end of the Peace Bridge, so if you're thinking about staying here, I definitely would give it a recommendation. That's the Knights Inn, Fort Erie.